Welcome to Season 18 of the 5-Minute Biographies podcast from 5minutebiographies.com, where each week we tell you interesting things about interesting people in about 5 minutes. If you enjoy the show and would like to support us, why not consider buying us a coffee? Head on over to 5minutebiographies.com/coffee to see how. This is Episode 6, Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher, born Margaret Hilda Roberts on the 13th of October 1925 in Grantham, Lincolnshire, England, remains one of Britain's most significant and controversial political figures. Known as the Iron Lady, a nickname coined by a Soviet journalist in response to her staunch anti-communist stance, Thatcher was the first woman to hold the office of Prime Minister in the United Kingdom, serving from 1979 to 1990. Her tenure marked a profound shift in British politics, society and the economy, and her policies continue to be a point of debate and analysis long after her time in office. Margaret was born into a modest family. Her father, Alfred Roberts, was a grocer, a Methodist preacher, and a local councillor, while her mother, Beatrice Ethel Roberts, was a homemaker. Growing up above the family's grocery shop, Thatcher was instilled with conservative values, a strong work ethic, and a sense of individual responsibility. She attended Kesteven and Grantham Girls' School, excelling academically and showing a keen interest in debating. Her early experiences with her father, who was deeply involved in local politics and public service, helped shape her beliefs and aspirations. In 1943, Margaret went to Somerville College, Oxford, where she studied chemistry. While at Oxford, she became the president of the university's Conservative Association, indicating her growing political interests. After graduating in 1947, she worked briefly as a research chemist, a role that included work on soft-serve ice cream. Despite her promising career in science, Margaret was drawn to politics and soon became active in the Conservative Party. Thatcher first ran for Parliament in 1950, standing as the Conservative candidate for the Labour stronghold of Dartford. Although she lost, her energetic campaign and impressive public speaking skills gained her recognition. She married Dennis Thatcher, a wealthy businessman, in 1951. Their marriage was one of mutual support, with Dennis providing financial stability and encouragement that allowed her to focus on her political ambitions. The couple had twins, Carol and Mark, born in 1953. In 1959, Thatcher won the Conservative seat for Finchley, beginning her long career as a Member of Parliament. Her sharp intellect and commitment to Conservative values quickly caught the attention of senior figures in the party. She served in various junior ministerial roles before being appointed Secretary of State for Education and Science in 1970 under Prime Minister Edward Heath. It was during this time that she earned the label Margaret Thatcher, Milk Snatcher, after her decision to end the free milk programme for schoolchildren over the age of 7 as part of budget cuts. The nickname foreshadowed the tough, often unpopular decisions she would make in later years. After Heath's defeat in the February 1974 general election, Thatcher challenged him for leadership of the Conservative Party. In 1975, she became the party leader, the first woman to lead a major British political party. Her victory signalled a shift towards a more free market and individualistic approach within the party, influenced by the economic theories of Friedrich Hayek and Milton Friedman. This set the stage for her premiership, which began after the Conservatives won the 1979 general election. When Thatcher assumed office, Britain was grappling with a struggling economy, high inflation, and widespread labour strikes. She pursued a series of radical economic reforms aimed at reducing the state's role in the economy and fostering individual entrepreneurship. Her policies, collectively known as Thatcherism, included privatising state-owned industries, reducing the power of trade unions, and implementing deep cuts in public spending. Thatcher believed that by empowering individuals and limiting government intervention, the country would become more prosperous and self-reliant. However, these policies came with a high social cost, particularly in regions that had been reliant on manufacturing and mining industries. Thatcher's tenure was marked by both domestic and international challenges. In 1982, she made a bold decision to send British forces to reclaim the Falkland Islands after they were invaded by Argentina. The successful military campaign strengthened her reputation and helped secure a landslide victory in the 1983 general election. Her strong stance in foreign policy was further demonstrated in her close relationship with US President Ronald Reagan, with whom she shared a firm anti-communist ideology, playing a significant role in the closing years of the Cold War. Despite her electoral success, Thatcher's policies were not without opposition. Her government's introduction of the community charge, widely known as the poll tax, led to public outrage and mass protests, with critics arguing it placed an unfair burden on lower-income households. This, along with growing resistance within her party, contributed to her eventual downfall. In 1990, after facing pressure from her own MPs and mounting criticism from the public, she resigned as Prime Minister, succeeded by John Major. After leaving office, Thatcher remained active in political life, becoming a member of the House of Lords as Baroness Thatcher in 1992. She continued to advocate for her political beliefs, both in speeches and through her writing. However, her later years were marred by health issues, including several small strokes and a diagnosis of dementia in the early 2000s. These challenges led her to withdraw gradually from public life. Margaret Thatcher passed away on the 8th of April 2013 at the Ritz Hotel in London, where she had been staying for several months due to her declining health. She died of a stroke at the age of 87. Her death marked the end of an era, sparking both tributes and criticism. Admirers praised her for transforming the British economy, promoting individualism, and strengthening Britain's position on the global stage. Detractors, however, criticised her policies for widening social inequality and weakening the welfare state. Thatcher's legacy is a complex and contested one. While some view her as a visionary who revitalised Britain and restored its international stature, others see her as a divisive figure who exacerbated social and economic divides. Regardless of one's stance on her policies, there is no denying her impact on British and global politics. Margaret Thatcher's life and career continue to be studied and debated, symbolising a transformative period in Britain's history. I hope you enjoyed that episode of 5-Minute Biographies from 5minutebiographies.com. If you did, why not subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, and leave us a review while you're there. Also, why not consider our other 5-minute podcasts? 5-Minute History, 5-Minute Murder, 5-Minute Mysteries, and 5-Minute Warfare. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.